friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a January faves and fails. How are we a month into 2023? I don't know, someone tell me. It's crazy. I feel like I also haven't been able to be a little bit more ritualistic with these faves and fails every month. I feel like about, I don't know, maybe towards the fall of last year, I had so many videos I wanted to do with you guys that those just kind of fell off. So this year in 2023, I'm gonna do my best. If you guys still like to see these faves and fails, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below so I know where your heart lies. Do you still wanna see these every single month? Because that is when I tend to go really deep into things that I got in other varieties too, like BOXYCHARM boxes. What do I love? What have I decluttered already? What do I hate? What's working? You know what I mean? Also, that's when I show you guys new purchases, things like that. So let me know if you still want to see these every single month. Hit the thumbs up, comment, all the good things. And yes, right now behind the scenes, I am tallying up the BOXYCHARM awards. If you have somehow missed the best and worst of BOXYCHARM, where I let you know all of the best and the worst for 2022, and then give you the link to do the polls for voting for the 2022 BOXYCHARM awards, that will still be linked below in this video, but we are like running out of time, guys. I actually plan to film that this week when I saw a little bit of an influx of people voting when I had shared the link on my community tab. So I don't want to not hear everybody's votes. So that video is coming up next. So I'm super excited about it because you guys are having some serious thoughts about your favorites, the things you hated, all of that. I have really big news. I feel like I need to start this faves and fails right up front with this really big news that I have here in my beauty space pertaining to some quality drugstore makeup that you guys know was a love of mine for years and years and years. And then I really had to push them out. I couldn't use them anymore because we found out they weren't really cruelty-free. And now, according to Cruelty-Free Kitty, according to all of the cruelty-free online sources, we have found WetnWild is now officially 100% cruelty-free. So you guys, I have started reintroducing WetnWild back into my beauty space. It's like a dream. I've like been wanting this to happen for so long. So y'all, I went shopping, but at the drugstore. So I wasn't breaking the bank because in 2023, I think we are all, at least that's what I'm hearing in the collective. Tell me your thoughts. Are you kind of pulling back on the really pricey makeup? I mean, it's just everything is raising with costs right now. Packaging, shipping, even at the drugstore. I really feel like we are seeing the prices just keep accumulating, and it's not just in makeup, everything is. So I'm kind of trying to see, where do you guys want to see some content this year? Are you wanting to focus on Shop My Stash? Because a lot of times, you guys know, I just keep using the stuff that I love and I'm trying to hit pan on more things. But also, drugstore is having a moment right now as far as new drops go in the new year, which they tend to do this time of year. So I've also been discovering some new things from the drugstore. We have so much to talk about, you guys, so much. I'm already being too chatty. Grab your tea, grab your water, grab your snacks, get comfy. Let's have some quality time together and talk about some things that I'm super excited to get into with you. Cheers! You guys, WetnWild is back in my beauty space, and I have not like slowed down with it. This morning when I was doing some try-ons, again, because I've already been touching into all these pieces, of course. And if you follow me on Instagram, but if you don't, you should be following me right here because I've already been giving you sneak peeks behind the scenes, things I have bought, things that I am trialing all over this face. Some things I already know I don't love though. I'm really sad because some things from Wet-n-Wild that I was like, are they gonna hold up to the memory and pedestal I had them on previously? Some of them, yeah. Some of them, no. Some of them have crashed and burned. So I'm really ready to get into this with you, and I'm ready to try some more over the next little bit of time to see is something still a fail. So you guys, do you want to know what all I've repurchased from WetnWild? Do you want me to just tell you right up front so then I can kind of get into what's working and what's not? Let's just do that because I feel like that's a moment here. You guys know I loved WetnWild. They were my go-to drugstore item. Inexpensive, quality products. So I'm a little brokenhearted about a few things. So let's just show you everything that I've gotten or repurchased. I don't know how to say this because they're like old friends, but it's like we're strangers because I'm kind of, now my mind has changed a little bit on things that I really love and products that I've had to rediscover. I was kind of forced to discover new drugstore things and other products like high-end. So I'm honestly just, I'm trying to refigure out, has the formula changed? Have I changed? Have my preferences changed? Because I'm not as like gaga over some of these products as I used to be. This is a new product from WetnWild. This is the Impossible Primer. Now the claims on this are insane. So this isn't something that I used to love and now I'm reintroducing it. No, this is a new product to the whole beauty community. So I've had some thoughts because it has some crazy big claims like blurring and mattifying but still hydrating. So I'm gonna tell you my thoughts thus far. This is something I'm still trialing. Also, you guys know, as soon as I found out WetnWild was back, I had to go back and get the foundation. You guys know I didn't shut up about this for a long time, but this time I may have made a rookie mistake, but I'm not a rookie, but I feel like it's a rookie mistake because I don't think I ever purchased the dewy version, and I did purchase the dewy version because I was like, ooh, that total cake face of matte foundation is not my jam anymore. I know, let's check out their dewy version. We'll get to that. Y'all know this was my jam too. The Photo Focus Loose Powder from Wet-n-Wild was like a holy grail in this beauty space. You never heard me shut up about it. I also fell in love with their bronzers. This is the Icon Color bronzer. I loved it. How do I still feel about it? I've got thoughts. I got an eyeshadow palette. I'm thinking I need to maybe invest in a little bit bigger palette. I've actually been on the hunt for one in particular at all of my local drugstores and cannot find it. I may have to order it online because I have thoughts about this mini palette too. And you guys know this was something that was claimed to be the dupe for what is all of our favorite setting sprays. If you love a setting spray, the Urban Decay All Nighter. Do you guys remember this? Do you remember how I wouldn't shut up about the Wet-n-Wild Photo Focus Natural Finish setting spray? Again, thoughts are coming. Thoughts are coming, but I have a whole like collection. I've already brought in so much in every category that I could. And I'm a little sad, but a little happy too. So it's complicated. I also have other things I'm going to be talking about in this video with you as well, but these were the ones that I was like, I have to tell you right up the bat. This is what I've already brought back into the beauty space in January 2023. So let's start with how I like to start my face and talk about the new primer. I'm a primer girl. I love starting with the primer, specifically something that will hopefully blur, give me a little bit of just that nice canvas to start a face. And this has a ton of claims. It claims to mattify, it claims to hydrate, it claims to fill pores and give a blurred look. It claims that it preps the skin for long-lasting makeup, and it's impossibly silicone-free. And I was like, that seems impossible, because when I tried to shove this baby out of the tube, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like solid. I put this on my skin this morning. I have used this now a couple of days. Now I will say, I don't notice immediately like a blurring of my bossy pores up front. You guys know, I always say I have more combo-y leans oil half of the year skin, but I also have really big pores that can really grab onto things. So I wasn't sure how this product was going to do. And I still don't know. I really don't, because I'm kind of discovering it's not as good as what I had hoped at this moment, but I've also been trying a lot of things. So I feel like I need to give this a longer time to review it. So this right now in this part of my faves and fails is something I'm letting you know I'm trying, but I'm not loving it yet. It says it's an all-in-one primer that does it all, but when I put it on, I can feel it. It's a pretty thick primer. It does not spread too far, so I felt like I needed just a touch more to kind of get other areas of my face. And then I kind of let it sit a second before I move on to foundations and other things. And maybe it's because I'm trying some other creamy type products I'm going to tell you about in this video. I need to try this a little bit more with just some of my normal powder loves maybe. But at this moment, I'm seeing nothing bad, but like at the end of the day, my makeup is looking really cakey and looking not so great. So I don't know if this is a contributing factor or not, but I was so excited to be able to try something brand new from Wet-n-Wild that I was curious about, that I could not wait. I needed to put this on my face. So let me know, have you tried this new Wet n Wild primer yet? Obviously, they're super inexpensive. I believe I used to use the matte photo focus primer that is now $6.49. Okay, even Wet n Wild has gone up in prices because I'm pretty sure that was like $4.99 or something back in the day when I was obsessed with it. The Prime Focus Impossible Primer is $7.49, just to give you an idea, so it is a little bit more pricey, but with that extra inflation of cost, I was really hoping to see some good results. So I'm in the testing, trying phase with this at the moment. I do still see my pores after I put this on, even with the makeup and stuff, so I'm not convinced yet, especially for the blurring part, but also for the mattifying part. But I'm trying some creams, so I don't know what is the kind of like the factor at the moment, but it's not a home run for me yet, unfortunately. Now, I gotta tell you about a fail, and I kind of already alluded to it. It is the foundation. I didn't even want to put it on today because I've tried it 2 to 3 times now, and at first I'm just like, okay, I look really dewy, but that's in the name. It was expected. But it kind of feels like it starts to look ragged and break apart by midday. It starts to really give me some lines under the eyes. It starts to be really what some people associate with really matte foundations. This one is doing it to me, and it's dewy and illuminating. I'm really confused. This is $6.89. Again, I'm pretty sure this was like $4.99, $5 or something back in the day. So everything is getting inflated now. That has been years. But they call this a high-performing, skin-perfecting foundation that diffuses pores and blends seamlessly into the skin for a luminous, dewy finish. Silky and creamy coverage is buildable, medium to full. I used to use the matte, for the record, because I was so oily. So maybe I should still try. I secretly still want to try the matte, but I did have in my head, I was like, ooh, that's not the style of makeup I do anymore, where it's just like that flat pancake makeup, full coverage. I've, you know, been a little bit more, I want to show my freckles. I've been loving, when I had to transition from this to my CoverGirl, the CoverGirl Olay Simply Ageless 3-in-1. This is my go-to. This is the foundation I would not shut up about at the 2022 best ofs for just overall drugstore high-end makeup. This is something I have traveled with. People tell me all the time my skin looks so good. I look so much more youthful when I'm wearing this. Like, it gives you just enough illumination, but also doesn't look shiny on my skin, it definitely blurs my pores. It does all kinds of great things. This, I was really hoping would be similar to this, I guess, in my head, and it's just not. It definitely breaks apart by midday, whereas this lasts me all day long. I still look good at the end of my day. Yeah, there may be some things breaking apart, maybe around the eyes or the nose, but this, it's like by midday. If I stumble, I talked about this on Instagram the other day. Again, follow me there if you don't. I was like in my beauty space working, and I have all this natural light, and I was like, okay, things are still looking good by midday. And I was like, maybe it was something else I tried. I went into another part of my house where the lighting was just more normal lighting. It wasn't just all nice natural finish where it just kind of gives you that nice glow. And I was like, ooh, I was in the bathroom, and I was like, things are breaking apart. Things are not looking good over here. So honestly, I'm gonna try this a little bit longer, but I think this might just be a full-on fail, which is such a bummer. I'm a little brokenhearted, a little bit. But now, before I kind of move on and tell you some of the powders and other things that I was trying with Wet n Wild, we have to talk about some cream products that I have been using with these. So that's why I'm saying right now some of these I'm still testing. I'll let you guys know on Instagram. I did a full tutorial with you guys on these products from Merit Beauty. These are their bronzers. I have always wanted to try the Merit Beauty bronzers. This is similar to the formula that I was really hoping that their Minimalist perfecting like foundation sticks were. I was kind of hoping those would be similar to this, and they weren't last time I tried those. So I've been really wanting to try their bronzers. Everything, it seems like, in the makeup world is gone to creams and liquids. As an oily skin girl, I feel like I have to tiptoe into that water because I'm always really worried that my makeup's just gonna fall apart by midday, halfway through the day, or I'm gonna look really oily. These are their Bronze Balm Sheer Bronzers for $30. So they're kind of pricey. I ended up getting 2 shades. One of them over here is in the shade Clay. It's a little bit deeper tone. And then this one over here, Quince, is in the lighter shade. This is more of a bronzer shade for me right now, but I am using Clay as a little bit of what I consider that underneath contour. It's like a light contour that's super natural, because once I start blending it into my skin, it looks super nice. So I'll start with something like this, and it gives you just that nice shadow. It looks really natural. So when I'm doing like a minimal makeup day or a no makeup day, this looks really nice, and I think it's gonna be a great bronzer color for me in the summertime. And then I'll jump over here to Quince and just do a little bit more up front where I want to do that sun-kissed W shape over my face. That's where it kind of just gives you that little bit of warmth, a little bit around the perimeter, up over the nose, things like that. And I liked how it has looked, but because I'm still tiptoeing through the tulips with these cream products, I'm figuring out how I feel about them, because I'm still like, oh wow, I look shinier than I normally do, but shiny doesn't always equal oily. It just kind of makes your skin look a little bit more dewy, luminescent from within, which is something I love about the CoverGirl foundation that I have with Olay. That does it naturally without being overwhelming, and I'm not sticky or anything. And that's what I'm experiencing with these. My face doesn't feel sticky, it doesn't feel tacky after I've powdered. It's doing pretty good. So these are something that I would say right now I'm kind of loving, because even when I'm doing a more natural day, I'm finding myself using these to start the look. Now I am always gonna be a little bit more extra even on a natural makeup day, and I'm still occasionally doing some bronzers with that, and I did do an extra bronzer with this today. And the other day I did this as well with a different bronzer, because I'm kind of trying to see what I like and what works best for my skin. But this does not make me break out, which is huge, and it also doesn't make my makeup pill or start to pile up or look cakey in these areas, which is why I know these cream products are likely not the culprit for reasons I'm not loving this piece from Wet n Wild with the foundation that's dewy, or seeing any results as far as the Impossible goes as well, because it's not in these areas. I put this in very specific areas. So I'm kind of bumming about the whole Wet n Wild thing right now. Can you tell? Really bumming. But really surprised that I'm loving these cream bronzers. So I'm curious, how am I gonna feel about it once it gets a little warmer, once the humidity starts to rise and my skin gets a little bit more oily? We know the drill. But right now, it's really not messing with my makeup or my pores. So I'm super excited about this. Pretty excited to be discovering something like this. And you can check out that full tutorial on my Instagram. After I've been doing all of these creams and trying these dewy products, what do I need to do as an oily skin girl with bossy pores, you ask? You know this answer. You know, that's when we come into our powders. Yes, you guys know I love a blurring powder. Something that is going to bring this face back together and also be something that doesn't let me get sticky and tacky throughout the day, doesn't maybe get into some fine lines through the day as I'm making expressive faces, drinking my water, all of the things. So you know your girl had to go back and try out or rediscover the loose powder, the translucent photo focus powder. I used to call this my ride or die. This was something I love so much. And I'm rediscovering it, and I have found it's pretty good. Have my tastes changed? Have the formulas changed? Is it because I'm trying more cream products, so maybe I need more than I have been using? There are so many factors right now that I'm not going to say I don't love this. But I'm not gonna say I hate it, but I don't love it. So I'm kind of in, again, a trial phase, because today I felt like I needed to pull out a little bit more of this midway through the makeup, kind of towards the end of it, when I was like, let's do a little bit more. Do I think my Fenty powder has spoiled the crap out of me because I instantly see blurring to the bossy pores up front? Yeah. I think that some of the things that I have learned to love over the past few years, while our friends at Wet n Wild have not been in my beauty space, I feel like some of my makeup expectations have probably shifted a little bit. Some things that I love to see on my face, because this is a great powder. It does a beautiful job. Also, I've recently hit pan on something that's kind of high end that is being discontinued. So I'm gonna let you know about it right now, just in case you need this before you can't get your hands on it anymore. It is a pressed version of this, I swear it is, but it's from an even bougier brand. Again, this is the Fenty Pro Filter Cashew Powder. Love this so much. This has been a ride or die for me for a super long time, and probably what I maybe don't even recognize I compare things to ongoing. And this powder, I would say, is a pressed version of it. I really do. This is the Dior BackStage Face and Body No Powder Powder. I just started hitting pan on it this week. This is something I love to put in that center part of my face because it blends and it also blurs just like this powder does. And I can layer this up to Kingdom Come, give myself a little bit more of a glow and a tan. And this just makes my skin look good even if I pile it on. Whereas I would say if I were to even attempt, obviously this is a different formula, different powder, it tends to be a little too much. It doesn't have what I would call a white cast, but it does diffuse makeup. And I think that's what I used to love about this. Now that I'm saying this out loud and remembering, I think what I could do is kind of maybe have too much on, because we both know I have the too much sheen, too much blush, too much bronzer, too much whatever. And if you go in with a fluffy brush and you just kind of go over this, it will diffuse everything back down to be a little bit more approachable. And it is still a nice powder. I am rediscovering this right now in my beauty space, so give me a little bit more time to play with her and shift my mindset to focusing on what her attributes are versus what I'm accustomed to. Do you know what I mean? So this is back in my beauty space, and it's still on the like it side. It is. Now I got a little heartbroken. I got a little heartbroken with this next product. Now, I don't think this was a favorite for me back in the day. I think the more matte version of this bronzer was my favorite. So I think I'm gonna need to invest in a bronzer from Wet n Wild that doesn't have any shimmer in it. Because I'll be honest, looking at this bronzer, this one is called Sunset Striptease. It's also a beast to get open, so I have to pull out my tweezers like every time. I swear, it just like latches in and I don't wanna break a nail opening it. It is more of a shimmery bronzer, but because of the packaging and the name on it, I didn't know that because it doesn't say shimmer on this with this color. And I know one of the ones that I had this imprint in it before, and it wasn't shimmery. And today when I put this on, I was like, whoa, there are my big bossy pores up front, because unlike my favorite shimmery bronzer, the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil bronzer, it like dust over the top of them and smooth them out. This does not do that. This like was like, hey, here's all those pores. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What happened? What happened? Which one of you did it? It was this. This is what did it. It wasn't the creams I was trying. It wasn't the foundation, although I don't know if the foundation helped at all because I had already, you know, didn't feel like my canvas was as good as it could have been. So yeah, this shimmery bronzer I didn't know was shimmery. It looks super pretty. I love the color. I love that it gives like a sun-kissed glow. So it does give us that suntan, and I tell you every January, February, guys, if you deal with seasonal depression like I do, if you're sick to death of the cold and the snow and the ice and just having to wear 20 layers to go outside, something I used to do was do my makeup like I had just been given a suntan, given a sun-kissed glow, because that truly helped my mental health. So this is something I would be pulling out in January in the cold weather. Here's the swatch on my hand. You can definitely see the shimmer. Yes, like I built her up so you could see it on camera, but it's definitely a lot of shimmer that it isn't noticed on the packaging. Like it doesn't say anything about it. And I wish it did, so I would have known and I would have looked for a matte bronzer. Just because I think I remember trying this and being like, ooh, my bossy pores up front. How you doing? They look like canyons. Like, what's happening? So I think I could use this a little bit more on the outside of my face, maybe at the perimeter. But I don't like to do the sun-kissed glow vibe with this so much because that's where my pores are. That's where the makeup can break apart easily on me, and I need some blurring. I don't need some like, hey, let's look at those canyons on your face. So this was unfortunate. Not one of my favorite things. I could probably use this for sure on like those golden summer goddess days that I was just mentioning and put them like on the shoulders, on the, you know, other areas, maybe on the eyes, but I need a matte one. So this was a fail for me. This was a fail. Okay, let's talk about some eyeshadow palettes because I have two eyeshadow palettes in here and they're both neutral because that's just where I am vibing right now, but I have been getting some colorful ones from BOXYCHARM, which you may have seen in my recent BOXYCHARM video. So I kind of wanted to reapproach a Wet n Wild palette, but I also got something that I was really excited about that I've also been loving that I wanted to tell you. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about chic beauty boxes last year, kind of more towards the beginning and middle of the year. Well, then I don't know what's been going on with them behind the scenes. It sounds like they were having some shipping issues or something. But I did receive just this week the Chic Beauty box for winter. So I have been able to be playing with some of those items. So I'm kind of mostly going to be telling you about the things that I have gotten out of this box that I'm kind of loving a lot right now. And one of them is an eyeshadow palette. And I love when that happens. So I have two palettes that I'm wearing today and that I have been playing with for a while now, and I have some formed thoughts on these items. First of all, why is Wet n Wild's packaging so hard to get into? I've taken off the stickers. I don't think there's anything else hidden somewhere, is there? I forgot there are plastic components. While affordable and keep us affordable, don't think I'm sassing on that. Man, they're stickers, they're adhesives, man, they just don't let go. The eyeshadow palette that I ended up picking up was more of a neutral one because I wanted to be able to utilize this in multiple looks if I loved it. This is the Walking on Eggshells palette, and this is one of their mini palettes. They have a bigger one out that's like a whole nude moment. I have been hunting for that, I feel like, for weeks and weeks now, and I can't find it in a drugstore. I may have to order it. And I'm also wondering if that formula, because it's a bigger palette, it was kind of a more recent drop, would that be a little bit better quality than these? And me saying it like that, that means I'm not loving these. That day that I mentioned where I kept saying I was in this beauty space with all the lighting, where it's a little bit more diffused lighting and a little bit more complementary lighting to makeup, when I was going through the living room, that was another thing that I was like, living room, bathroom, anywhere else, I was like, what is wrong with my eyeshadow? Is it fading? What's it doing? It was the day that I was only trying this because I've been putting this with other things, but then I've been trying this alone. This eyeshadow palette was not my favorite looks, honestly. The formula, it tends to be really fluffy. It tends to kind of get a little bit everywhere, and that doesn't even bother me so much because usually a messy formula means a decent spread, blendability, it's super pigmented, those kind of things. Well, I'm not finding that to be the case with this as much. Was I still able to get a look out of this? Yes. Was I still able to get, I could get multiple looks out of this little bitty guy, which is something I love about a neutral palette. It's approachable for anyone, any time of day, work, going out, all the things. But I felt like the formula left some to be desired. It was kind of like getting a lot in the palette all over the place, but then when I was trying to put it on the eye, it took a while to build up. I wasn't seeing it. Today, I was trying to just use the more neutral shade here over here that I was liking because it has a little bit of a yellow orange tone base to it in the crease, while I was also using this Smashbox palette that I was loving. And I just felt like it wasn't giving me enough of anything. If anything, I felt like all the heavy lifting today in my look is from this palette. This is the Smashbox Covershot Minimalistic Eye Palette. I love how it's like got this little boom kaboom right here. And then these are like warmed shades over here and cooler tones over here. So you're actually getting a lot for such a small palette. Try these separately. I've tried these together. I have tried a little bit of every which way, the shimmers, the mattes, all the things. And I've really just kept finding myself wanting to use more of this. And this is more of what's on my eyes today, because even though they look like they could be like dupes or put together to create a cohesive look, I wasn't seeing the pigmentation from this. No matter how much I built it up, it was just still feeling lackluster. Whereas this palette, now granted, this I can't compare it because it's not like this is drugstore. I'm just saying this is what happened on my face today when I was sciencing with my eyeballs, well, eyelids. I noticed the pull with this, the blendability with this. This is a really nice formula for the most part. I will say the shimmers really performed best with a finger. I tried to go in with a wet brush to kind of get those pow moments on the lids with the shimmers, and I couldn't get it. I literally had to go back in with my finger after spending a lot of time trying to build up the shimmer looks on the lid with a wet brush. Did not do nearly as well as it did with the finger, which is kind of why that's just my go-to, since most of the time that's gonna win. I also used my finger and wet brushes when I was trying to use these shimmers because there are mattes and shimmers in here, but I really found them to be lackluster and definitely falling apart by midday. Now, I will be honest, I was super excited about the fact that I could get Wet n Wild again, that when I came to an end cap that was all Wet n Wild, for some reason there was no price stickers on the Wet n Wild, and I was just like, okay, well, I know it's affordable, and I'm just picking up this, and this, because I was really excited. And I know that these were all really inexpensive. Like, everything I got in my little haul here that's just Wet n Wild, I think was like under $30 or a little bit at $30 for multiple things that I wanted to rediscover. But I don't know how much this palette was, so I'm looking it up. Now, I remember loving some of their Color Icon eyeshadow 10-pan palettes. This is not a 10-pan palette, so is their formula different from this 5-pan versus the 10-pan? I don't know, but this one I feel like isn't showing a lot of, I don't know, a lot of anything. This is only $4.29 though, so honestly, for that inexpensive, when we're looking at kind of some pricey increases at the drugstore that I was just saying, do I think you could make this work for $5, $4.29 if you needed to. Abso-stinkin-lutely. If you're somebody who just wants a nice neutral palette and you don't want to break the bank, like I was thinking this was like $6, $7 and I was like, I don't know about that. But if this is only $4.29, I'm honestly less mad about it. I really am, because I feel like, yes, you can build this up. Yes, I still got looks out of it. It just maybe wasn't something that I thought could do the entire day. But if you just need something to get you through like a work day or something, this could be totally fine for you if you are a babe on a budget. I really didn't realize it was only $4.29, so I'm less mad about it right now. Now the Smashbox Covershot eyeshadow palette, this one here is $32, so clearly it should perform better for that much of a price difference. And this did come in my Chic Beauty box, so I am pretty impressed with the formulas on this. I was really excited to see the blendability. This also does have some kickback to it, but it's something that it's because it's so blendable and because you do get some pigment, and I really was able to build up this shade right here, which is kind of my current favorite at the moment. Build it up in the crease, kind of makes a little bit more definition, go into some other shades, mix and match to kind of build out a little bit of a smokiness, but not too much for daytime. Put on some shimmer on the lid, again with the finger, not the brush, and go. I'm really liking this palette. Guys, Lucky Chick has become my favorite. It's become my favorite gloss. This has been the only gloss I have been using since I first told you about it last month, maybe? This is the gloss I go to. This is what Lucky Chick calls their hydrating lip gloss. Mine is in the shade Blissful. Now, I do feel a touch of tingling that I didn't really realize until later, so I'm looking up on their website right now to see, is this kind of a lip plumping? Lucky Chick's lip gloss delivers maximum color and brilliance with a blend of high performance ingredients that provides comfortable wear and long-lasting color. Never sticky, this coffee-infused formula gives the lips a slight tingle when applied from this stimulating and natural ingredient. A mild sense is derived from natural oils of the coffee and rosehip seed oil. That's what it is. I was like, there's a light tingle. Am I crazy? No, it's just got a little bit of caffeine in it, which will also provide a touch of plumpness as well. This has been like my go-to lippy for weeks now. I love this so much. And they're right, it isn't sticky. It has a little bit of just that little pout to it where it's got that shine. I'm loving it for just kind of enhancing a pout. This is $20. I'll go ahead and put down my link from the last time I talked about them. I'm not sure if it still works or not by the time I put this up, but may as well. And it looks like they're saying Happy New Year. You could save 20% off with their code LUCKY23 if you're curious. I'm really loving this gloss, guys, so darn much. Something that has not worked for me, you saw in my recent BoxyCharm video. I'm just gonna talk about it out the gate here and gotta get it like done as far as BoxyCharm stuff goes. It's this Love and Craft Beauty Goo. I tried it on the lips in the video. I tried it on the face, but kind of not like full-heartedly because I'd already had other makeup on. I just don't think that this very metallic-y product is gonna be my jam, honestly, on the lips, on the eyes, because this stayed sticky too. I can't imagine wanting to put this on the eyes. This was one of those products that I was like, we could have done without this BoxyCharm. We definitely could have done without this. I don't think it was needed. Ooh, something I did get a sample in though. I recently ordered something from Ulta and they sent me some Smashbox Halo Healthy Glow all-in-one tinted moisturizers, and I've tried this for a few days now and I have to tell you that I really am intrigued. I used this with the Tarte Glow Wand under the eyes, just kind of had like a full no makeup glossy day, and then powdered it down with my Dior powder, and it was just a nice easy breezy day. I was really enjoying this, so I'm still testing out the sample here, but thought I should mention it to you. This tinted moisturizer, I've kind of been off the tinted moisturizer train for a little bit. This I was like, oh, this actually had some buildup as well. Let me quickly show you. Here on the finger, you can see that it definitely has some thickness. Like, it builds, like, really nice. Like, this was just, I mean, a lot came out in that, but it's just, I still have so much left on my finger. Like, you only need a little bit, and you get a lot of product. This is clearly a little bit more yellow toned for my skin, but I'm also putting it on the palest part of my body. Yeah, look at this. It's kind of like blending and settling in. Yeah, as you can see, it's kind of just blending and settling in right now into my skin. It does a really nice job of being on top of the skin and not really making any lines or anything become much of a factor, I've noticed, because it's even right now in like my wrist crease. And it's not it's not pulling. It looks pretty good, right? Smooth. So yeah, this is something else that I am trying right now and really enjoying. Y'all, to set down a makeup look, you know I used to rave and talk about how the Wet n Wild Natural Finish Face Spray was a dupe for the Urban Decay, right? That's what we had heard for so long, and you know, I feel like I really believed that at the time. Right now, I'm still trying to decide, does this make my skin feel a little sticky? I did do a powder down a little bit again after spraying this because I did feel like my skin, I don't know, the mist was pretty nice. And I did want more of a natural finish, but I may also get the matte one again just to kind of test it, because that was my jam for a really long time before I switched over to the natural. I think this is doing pretty good. The spray on it is a little bit more aggressive than I remembered, because as I was comparing it to this, obviously it's going to be a different component. But as far as like the wear goes, I think this allows my skin to be maybe just a touch stickier through, but I'm still testing this a little bit more. But do you still love this? Is this still a ride or die for you? Or tell me what Wet n Wild products are your ride or dies. Like, that's something I need to know right now. I love that this is only $5.99 because we all know this is not. So for my babes on a budget, especially going into a new year, if maybe you're looking to pull back, use what you've got in your collection, but maybe you're out of a setting spray and you need a setting spray like I do, you know, I'm going to reinvestigate this for you this year because I'm curious how I feel about it. Like I said, I sprayed it now a couple of different times on cream makeup, powders makeup, all the things, and I'm still feeling like I can get a little like sticky a little bit later. So I'm still investigating this for you at the moment, but it could also have been maybe the powder wasn't doing as much as I thought it should. You know what I mean? So I'm still sussing through it all, but tell me what you are loving or what your diehard favorites are from Wet n Wild, because you know I need to know this information now because we are back on that train. Also, Physicians Formula went fully cruelty-free as well, which I was super excited to see. I didn't really need the bronzer because I know a lot of people, like, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna go get that bronzer? And then I looked at my bronzer drawer and I was like, girl, you don't need that right now, because I'm not trying to just bring in excess into my beauty space. So I'm kind of looking to see what are your like diehard like Physicians Formula drugstore items. Tell your girl, because they're not as inexpensive. They're not as, you know, cheap. I hate the word cheap when it sounds, because it sounds like it's not good quality. But drugstore is drugstore. Also, I have started doing my nails at home. A lot of you guys have seen and commented on my nails. Some of you guys are like, I'm obsessed with your new mermaid nails. What is that? Also, I had some really fun nails that lasted me over 2 weeks long at Christmas time. They were the black sparkle nails. These are all still that same brand, the Diva. Let me look it up. These are still the Dashing Diva sticker nails. That's what these are. These are stickers. And I waited like 2 weeks for this one to come in. Let me get you the full name here because I couldn't find it anywhere else, but I was really loving the deep tone of this, the sparkles. This is the Dashing Divas Gloss Nail Strips Ivy Opal. They are UV-free, chip-resistant, long-lasting gel nail stickers. I want to say so far, these have lasted me a week and a half. I'm going on to 2 weeks now. And while I'm still seeing imperfections of like my applications of how I could do it better, because then it starts to wear down a little differently, I'm kind of perfecting my techniques right now because I want to do my nails more at home now, be a little bit more cost effective, because every time I was going to just do a basic gel manicure, I couldn't get out of there without it being 50 bucks, and then they were chipping within a week every single time. And I was like, I can't live my life like this. And everything you need comes in this box. You get everything, like even the little nail file to help you kind of get off the excess. I'm really enjoying these. I know a lot of you guys have also been asking me about some of my jewelry, because a lot of you guys are like, what jewelry are you wearing this time? Like, I'm obsessed with your jewelry. Read Your Heart is actually a brand who I have worked with before, and I really love some of their Moissanite jewelry. They're stunning, but they're really inexpensive because it's not diamonds, but it's high quality materials and products. Moissanite's actually considered one of the best substitutes for diamonds. And another ring that I got right here is this stunning double diamond set. It's so beautiful. This is the 2-stone pear and round moissanite engagement ring is what they call it, but I'm obviously not gonna be wearing it as an engagement ring. This is something I would just use as a fashion ring for myself. And then this huge stone next to it is also from them. I did not know it was gonna be so massive, but I have become obsessed with it for a statement piece. That is the luxury colored cushion sapphire 2-stone sterling silver ring. It has gold and silver plates on it. It's so pretty. It has some of the moissanite stones on the side as well. Super stunning. I love both of these pieces and I plan to wear these in a lot of videos. And you can get a discount using my code. It is 15% off. You can use the code Fisher15 and purchase some of your own moissanite jewelry. They have so many options to choose from. I almost couldn't pick because they're so beautiful. And again, I had no idea this ring was this massive, and I have worn this for like a solid week now. Super sturdy. I wash my hands. The stone feels really quality. The setting is great. I really love these pieces. I'll go ahead and link them below so you can check them out. You guys, I cannot end my first faves and fails of the year without doing some shout outs with you guys. I love doing these when I do my shout outs with you guys because you guys are my favorite part of the month. Every single month, I make these videos to connect with you guys, let you know my thoughts on things. I want to hear your feedback. What are your Wet n Wild favorites? What are your Physicians Formula favorites? Am I crazy? Should some of these be working better for me than I think they are? Tell me all the things. And now let me jump into some just shout outs with you guys. Helen Patterson, girl, I don't think you have ever missed a video. You're always giving me your thoughts on your feedback. You can't wait for the BoxyCharm Awards. I also can't wait for the BoxyCharm Awards. So thank you so much. Fairy Waters, I see you multiple times. Like in this recent video I just did, I see you 1, 2, 3 times. You're always in my comments and I love that. Auntie Liz, girl, you know, I talk to you all the time. I feel like we are soul sisters. Unboxing with Eileen, oh girl, I love seeing you too. You guys are just so awesome. I feel like I could go down the rabbit hole with you. Andrea, I see you all the time on like every video. You don't miss them either. I'm so appreciative of you guys, especially because I know YouTube makes it so hard to find the content creators either that you're subscribed to. Sometimes it unsubscribes you. You guys aren't getting the notifications as often, but just so you know, I am here every single Sunday giving you guys the latest and greatest that I possibly can. And occasionally I have been also uploading again on Thursdays. So keep tabs on my Instagram and my community tab if you're not seeing like, oh, did she post? Did she not? I am posting, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you do happen to be new to my channel, hi new friends. I really hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all of the fun videos we have coming in 2023, and the BoxyCharm Awards are coming. I'm literally going through all of those right now because more reviews are coming in, more thoughts, and I love it. Bye friends.